Well, hello everybody, and welcome to week 7 in the SNHU 107 learning community. Y'all, I'm so excited to chat with you about making sure you know how to finish your courses and this term strong for your success. I'm going to talk a little bit also about the week 7 final project, the academic success plan. I will run through it, but just remember, if you want a very detailed run through with step by step, to make sure you watch that week 6 webinar from last week where I worked with the academic support writing team to get you the information that you need. Today's session is going to be just kind of a quick run through, but I will be talking about it. So as always, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It's our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. As a reminder, this is an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct. Plus, these webinars are not mandatory, they're not graded, and there are not any extra credit points awarded. But I hope that you have enjoyed the webinars this term, learned a little bit, and had a lot of fun. So, as we talk about getting ready to finish our term strong, I wanted to talk a little bit about self-assessment. So, do you know how to assess yourself? Have you ever taken a minute to kind of stop and check in with yourself and really kind of think about what is going well, what isn't, and what you might need to change for your success? So, a little bit of a brief, kind of description about a self-assessment is you're going to have to be willing to ask yourself some hard questions. You got to remember, you got to stay positive because some of the information and answers you might not like. You got to know about communication, how to communicate, who to communicate with, and what to do for your success by taking those action steps, right? So let's talk a little bit more about it so we can talk and really understand how to finish this term strong. So first and foremost, as we're thinking about your term so far at SNHU, I like to call this section asking yourself the hard questions, the hard truth. I want you to think about what you have done well this term. Think of one thing. What is one thing that you have done really good that you are super proud of? Example could be maybe you've gotten all your assignments in on time. Another example could be that you've really stuck with kind of your study schedule or time management plan. Or maybe you've been able to balance like work life, home life, taking care of others' life, right? Like whatever it might be, like what are you like, I did this really well. Okay. I like to start with this because sometimes it's hard for us to think about what we're good at or what we did good at. It's really easy for us to pick ourselves apart, however, which that's the next question. What is something you could have done better? Okay, so I want you to know, write it down or say it out loud. Like, what is one thing you did good? What is one thing you could do better? So maybe for you, you were turning your assignments in at the last minute and you would really like to give yourself some flexibility and work a little bit earlier, a little bit ahead. Okay, maybe you realized some of your work was just really rushed or you had procrastinated and put it off. Or maybe you struggled with your writing mechanics and you want to do better on that next time. So think about what you did well, what you want to do better. What is something you're really strong at? Like, did you communicate really well with your faculty or advisor this term, or communicate with those at home? Where were your strengths at? And then again, where were some areas you could improve, right? And then what can you do? If you struggled on some things or struggled whether at school, but did great at home or vice versa, like who can help you, right? So I want you to kind of think about that for a minute. Again, remember, what did I do good this term? What is something I would like to do better? Like, what is something I was strong in? What is something I could really use to improve? And like, how can I help that? How can I help myself do that? So if you struggled with your writing mechanics this term, what can you do? You could work with the writing team on these last assignments you're going to finish up for these next couple of weeks and work with them in your future terms, right? So who can help me? Bing, bing, bing comes the SNHU resources, right? So just a reminder of what we do well. Typically, there's always something we want to do better. So don't forget that you're not alone in this and you have so much people support to help you in your success. The other thing I want to remind you of is the power of positivity. Okay, y'all? It's so important that, we're going to have these days that are awesome, both inside and outside the classroom. We're going to have these days where things just go really well for our success and we feel good. Our assignments went on time. Our assignments did good. And then we're going to have weeks where it's not all glitter and sunshine. So you have to remember at the end of the day, no matter what, to always believe in yourself and that you are 100% worth this journey. Okay. You are worth it. Like, this is your time to be here. But you also have to remember that you're the one that has to put in the time, the work, the energy, the effort, right? And don't forget to communicate for your success. Set those appointments if there's appointments that you need to make. Email people back or send an email if you have questions. Some of the faculty even text message, but pick up the phone, call your advisor, call your faculty, return phone calls if they've been trying to get a hold of you. These are all ways that you can just really be put back on track or stay on track for your success. And all term long, we have talked so much about the university resources that you can utilize for your success. And this little snapshot isn't even all of them, but this is kind of some of the heavy hitters that a lot of students tend to utilize for their success. And if you haven't reached out and worked with any of these teams, I encourage you to start that process now, because it's only going to help you be even more successful. Okay. Don't forget too, as we're talking about finishing strong, if you've fallen behind a little bit or missed some assignments or didn't do so great on some assignments, no matter what the class is, this is a great time to reach out and connect with your faculty in those classes or that class. See if you can redo something. See if you could still turn something in. They can always say no. Okay. But I like to say the answer is always no unless we ask. They might say, you know what? Sure, Melanie, you can turn that assignment in. You're only going to get this much credit, but some points are better than no points. And sometimes just a few points can be the difference between an A and a B or a B and a C. Okay. So just remember, some points are better than no points. So take that action for your success. Really think about, what you want to continue doing in future terms that went well. And then what are the things you want to change if they hindered your success, or it kind of put you on the struggle bus, or things just fell apart. Today's the day, nothing changes. And what are you going to do about it? Right? So as you head into these final weeks, folks, remember that you got this. We are so excited for you to be this close into finishing the term. Put all your energy and effort into it. And just remember, you're never alone. Reach out to your resources and really take a look at what you did this term, how it went, and how you want to maybe change some things or keep some things in place for your success as you move forward. All right. So with that, I wanted to quickly share my screen because I wanted to walk you guys through the Module 7 final project, that academic success plan. So first and foremost, I wanted to remind you guys that you can find this by logging into Brightspace, click on your course menu, scroll down because we're almost to the finish line, Module 7. When you do that, I wanted to point out two things. One, you will notice there's a 7-1 discussion. This is a non-graded discussion. So you do not have to post anything in here, but you sure can. Sometimes students just share how they think the term is going, or if they have like a question about the project, but this is not, let me repeat this is not a space for you to actually post any pieces or parts of your project, okay? This is just kind of a general area. It's not graded, so you don't have to do anything with it unless you want to. Where you find everything for your 7-2 project submission for that academic success plan is right here. Click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. Click on that requirements and rubric, and it opens up this. Now, I encourage you to read through these instructions because it literally goes step by step with each question and what kind of information you should be putting here, or how you should be answering the question. Okay. So click through it, scroll through it, review it. But what I wanted to make sure you guys really understand is there is the rubric down here at the bottom, which is how you're graded. But right here underneath supporting materials, the very first document is the actual template that you will use. You will open it up and fill it out by typing right in it, just like you've done for all the other assignments in previous weeks, okay? Below it is a project example. And this is what I wanted to run through with you guys today, just really quickly, because a lot of students don't even realize that's there. So I'm going to show you that it was there. The other thing is it gives you a very solid idea of what this project should look like complete. Now, this project that we're using as an example is not perfect, okay? It's not perfect. And just remember, this is somebody else's work. So do not go in here and copy paste, and make it your own, because you will get caught, right? And we don't want any academic integrity violations because you guys have worked too hard and you know what your schedule and pieces should look like, right? So let's run through the project just really quick, so you can understand why this looks the way that it does, but I also want to make sure you just knew where to find it. So first, you have this time management plan. This is where you are filling out a time log completely, okay? So you will notice that this example has listed in here when this person is sleeping, when they're working, even when they're eating breakfast, when they're spending time with like their daughter or loved ones. Maybe they're watching Netflix, maybe they're playing a video game, there's nap time. I mean, everything is in here. It's short, it's quick, but every single spot is filled out, and that is key. But it also is detailed enough that somebody that doesn't know this person super well can understand what they're doing, okay? So just remember that as you look through this, and it's filled out completely. So the first section is your time log. The second question is to identify potential unplanned scheduling interruptions that can impact your schedule. Think back to week 2, right? We talked a lot about scheduling interruptions. So same thing here. But in this question, you want to look at that time log and like think about your time this term and be like, gosh, what has interrupted me? List it, write in complete sentences if you can. This student just bulleted the items, which is fine, but please try to make sure you're writing in complete sentences if you can, okay? Question 3 is identify how you will choose between tasks or events that take place at the same time on your schedule. Sounds familiar, right? We've talked about this before, so nothing new. We're just connecting the dots and putting things together. So when you think about this, you want to think about, I have homework to do, maybe I have a family dinner, or I have to work. Like these 3 things are all happening at the same time. How do you pick what you're going to do and why? Be detailed. Don't just say, I'll pick the one that's a higher priority. Well, that's great, but like why? How do you know what's a higher priority? Okay. Question 4, identify the SNHU resources, social supports, and motivational factors. Please notice that is plural. You should have 2 for each one, okay? So this is an example where this project isn't perfect because you'll notice there's only 1 for each. There should be 2. So 2 resources. Great example on the SNHU Tutoring Center. What about maybe adding in like advising as an example? Social supports, those are your people outside of the classroom spaces. So like loved ones, friends, family. And then what are those motivational factors? Make sure you list them. Do make sure you have at least 2, okay? Question 5, explain how you will take ownership of your future academic success by managing your time using those resources, social supports, and motivational factors. Explain yourself. Why did you pick those departments? Why did you pick those social supports? Why are those factors motivating to you? Write in complete sentences in a small paragraph form, okay? That's part 1. Part 2 is mission and goals. Y'all, this one, if in week 4, you wrote your mission statement and your 3 short-term goals, and you did not have any edits or changes, revisions needed, this is a great place where you copy and paste over your mission statement and you copy and paste over those 3 short-term goals. I tell students this all the time. If you're copying and pasting, double check your work, because every now and again, somebody forgets their mission statement because they put a goal there on accident, or they forget one of their 3 goals. Okay, so just double check. Is my mission statement there? Yep. Are my 3 goals there? Yep. Short-term goal 1, 2, 3. Make sure you line them up and they're all there. Okay. If you had changes, your faculty member said, hey, you're missing this for your mission statement, or you want to add this, or hey, your short-term goal needs a little bit more detail, information, or that due date or start date, whatever it might be, make sure that you are putting those changes or making those changes and then putting them right in those spaces. Okay. I will tell you, when I grade my students, I have this project pulled up, and I also have their week 4 mission and goals assignment pulled up, and I compare the 2. So if I asked for changes and revisions, I'm looking for them. So are your faculty. Okay, just make sure you have all those things filled out. Double check. I got a mission statement and I made any changes, and I have 1, 2, 3 short-term goals, and I made any changes if you had them. Okay. Question number 8, describe the importance of setting goals on your academic journey. Okay, explain your thoughts on this. This is your thoughts. Like, why are setting goals important? Like, why should they matter? What are they going to do, right? Again, short paragraph, complete sentences. Number 9. Now, this is a little bit different than up above where you talked about social supports and resources and motivational factors, okay? Because this isn't about time management. These questions relate to how you will utilize, for example, SNHU resources to help you achieve your overall goals and mission statement. Okay, so identify again SNHU resources, plural. Have at least 2. You'll notice there's 3 here. Awesome. Okay, you can list as many as you think for whatever it might be. If you can, include why. Number 10, identify academic skills and social supports that, again, will help you achieve your goals and mission statement. So social supports, we know this, right? That's the people, places, things outside the university, friends, family, coworkers. Again, I encourage you to have 2. That's what it asks for. Academic skills. A lot of students get confused on this one, and you'll notice the student put the writing center because the writing center does cover a lot of academic skills, right? Like it teaches us about writing and grammar. However, this question is actually looking at academic skills. That's why you guys come to these webinars, right? So you know this information. Academic skills are things like time management, study skills, note-taking skills, reading comprehension. Like those are academic skills. Have at least 2, okay? And then number 11, same thing. Those motivational factors that'll help you achieve your goals and mission statement. Make sure you have 2. Last question wraps everything up into a great little package with a bow, right? Explain how you will take ownership of your future academic success by utilizing or using those SNHU resources, the academic skills, the social supports, and the motivational factors to achieve your mission statement and goals. Basically, how are you going to put this plan and using all of these resources for your success together? Okay, you'll notice, put in a paragraph form, write in complete sentences. That's it. Save it. And then, of course, upload it. I encourage you, if you can, to work on this project earlier in the week or even break it down in pieces and work on it. And I encourage you to submit it to the academic support writing team to that written feedback tool. I encourage you to do that because then you'll have another set of eyes on it to look it over, and then they can give you any feedback that you might need if you need to make changes or if anything's missing. All right. So as a reminder, where do we find our writing team? If you go at the top, you'll see that academic support. Click on that. And when it pulls up, just give it a sec here, it's thinking, you'll see written feedback. So click on try it now. It'll walk you through the steps. Okay. So everyone, that is all I got for week 7. We are definitely coming in on the finish line. Remember, you got this. Take a big old deep breath, right? Utilize your resources if you're stuck or you have questions. And I can't wait to celebrate everything and you in week 8. You got this, and I'll see you in week 8.